If you are wondering if you should be moving to Oshawa, in this video I'm going to give you 10 reasons on why you should, and we're getting into it right after this. Hey, what's going on? It's Brad Goetz and I'm a local realtor here in Oshawa. If you've never watched any of my videos, be sure to like them. Lets me know people are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there. Subscribe to the channel. That way you're notified every time I do post new videos. And then also you can drop comments in there as well. I do respond. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to respond to the comments, but I always do go through them and check them out. And I just really enjoy that part of it. This video is just focusing on 10 reasons why you should move to Oshawa. If you stick around to the final reason, we'll call it number one reason, that's going to be the best reason on why I really think that you should consider moving to Oshawa. I have people reaching out from all over the world that are looking to move here, and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking to move to or from Oshawa, be sure to reach out. You can call, text, email, send the carrier pigeon, whatever is easiest for you. And I'm here to make your move and relocation go so much easier. To be honest, I'm shocked with the amount of people that are moving to Oshawa. For the longest time, especially when I moved to Oshawa back in 2012, Oshawa was on the map for the wrong reasons. A lot of negative stuff in the news, and just the overall reputation of Oshawa back in 2012 wasn't the greatest. Things have gotten a lot better, and if you have never been here before, it's something to at least check out and consider, because it is a good place to live or visit, anything like that. So let's jump into the video and we'll go over the 10 reasons on why I think that you should move to Oshawa, and we'll get into it right now. Let's start with reason number 10, which is unique living. It's kind of cool that Oshawa is about 20 minutes away from country living, but then it's about 50 minutes away from being right to downtown Toronto, which is like the largest metropolitan area within Ontario, if not Canada as a whole. So it's good to have that option where, you know, you can, depending on what you want to do, you have options. You want to go downtown for the night, you can go. If you want to go up north, or you want to go fishing or boating, stuff like that, you're not far from being able to do both of those things. So that's a real positive that, you know, a lot of areas don't necessarily have that. So that's kind of like a cool thing about Oshawa and where it's located. The 9th reason on why you should move to Oshawa is just because of it being considered now a smart city. And that's mainly because of all of the post-secondary education that is here. You have Ontario Tech and Durham College. Those are the two main reasons. But then you also have a lot of alternative type remote campuses and stuff. And there's Trent University, Queens, which has to do with the nursing program. So it's just, they have a lot of post-secondary schools here, which is just drawing a lot of people that's coming from all over the world. And they end up staying because they come here and they get comfortable with living here. And that's how it was with me and my wife. I was living in Brampton. My wife got into Ontario Tech University at the time, which was called UOIT. And she was coming here and she was going to rent. And we were able to find a way to buy a house. And she graduated and we stayed put. And it was just because we liked it. I didn't want to go back to Brampton. And it's just, we've been really happy here in the Durham region. So we are like the perfect example on how this is kind of changing the demographics of Oshawa, which used to be an automotive type city, has now been transitioning to, I'm going to say like commuters, because a lot of the main jobs people are commuting to, and being close to Toronto on the GO station has been something that's kind of helped out with that. And based on that, we'll jump into the 8th reason why you should move here. And it's because it's GO train accessible. So you have the GO station right now, which is at Thornton Road, just south of the 401. And it's about 50 minutes from door to door to Union Station. So it beats driving, that's for sure. There's future GO stations coming as well. Who knows when it's gonna happen, but the old, there's a warehouse that used to be a grocery warehouse type thing, which is at like Ritson and King, we'll call it, that's the main intersection. And so that's going to be built at some point, and that's that's going to be a second stop to Oshawa, which has been really good, especially with all of the population growth. And it's going right through, and it's going to go into to Bowmanville. Again, who knows exactly when that's going to happen, but those are on the horizon, which makes it a lot easier so that you can live in Oshawa, get to Union Station, and although you're still having to commute an hour on a GO train, not to mention the time to get to the GO station, if you are going to the GO station, and right now it's only the one that's here, you're going to want to make sure that you get there early because the parking is pretty bad. And on the odd times when I've had to go in the morning to Union, I would take the the GO train, and I'd be parking way at the back of the lot. And then they did an overflow lot that's there as well. And if you have to go to that one, it's even a longer walk. So you're just going to want to make sure that you get there early to avoid having a long walk on top of your drive to the GO station, but then also the 50 to 55 minute GO train ride. And I'm sure there's other options with CP Rail being there, where it's going to be a little bit quicker of a jolt to Union, but it is going to be more expensive. The seventh reason why you should move to Oshawa has to do with the seasons. We get all 4 seasons. That could be a positive or a negative, but it's just nice to have that different seasons. So you get the extreme cold, the major snowstorms, you get the rainy season, you get the hot, humid summers, and then you get the beautiful, cool fall, which has great scenery because just the leaves change color on the trees, everything like that. So the main seasons, you have winter, super cold, and then you get into the spring, which is gloomy and wet. So if you have grass, it's soggy for a couple of months, so you can't even cut the grass. Kind of have to wait until everything dries up a little bit. And then you get the summer, super hot, so you want to make sure that you have air conditioning or a whole whack of fans. The last video I just posted, I gave a story on how the house we're in right now, the first year we were here, we didn't have air conditioning. And it was one of the hardest things that I've had to personally go through in terms of living in a house with no air conditioning. And it was hot. We ended up going to Walmart and got 6 floor fans just to help with it. And they were pretty much, when we were downstairs watching TV or being on the main floor, they were there. When it was nighttime and we were going upstairs, windows open, and the fans were just on full blast. So the whole summer, it was pretty much this hue of background fan noise. And that was how we survived. And the next year, early on, we did get the air conditioning because we could not go through it again. And I think the nail on the coffin for that was when my wife was trying to make a birthday cake for my daughter's birthday, and pretty much the icing kept melting. And so it was like go in the fridge, like it was just like really hard. The icing was melting. Our oils that we had, like the coconut oil, which is supposed to be like a hard type oil, was completely liquid. So it was just, that's how hot it gets here. So you're just going to want to pay attention to the summers with the heat. Make sure you have air conditioning. My favorite season is always the fall. I like that cool, crisp sweater weather, and just with the trees changing color and stuff, it's just really pretty. So that's something that definitely, if you are coming here, that's one thing that you can look forward to, is just the beauty of the fall weather here. The 6th reason has to do with the green space galore. So there's just a lot of green space that's in Oshawa, whether it be the trails that kind of go throughout the subdivisions. You have the waterfront trail, which is down at the south end in Lakeview, which is definitely, it's really nice. They've built up, last year actually was the grand opening for the new park that they put in, new splash pad, all that kind of stuff. So with that, during the summer, it does get very busy there, but it's really pretty. And then you have conservation areas that you can go to as well, whether it be in Whitby or Ajax or North Oshawa. Like it's really pretty for that. So you do get lots of green space, and they have tons of parks. So the parks, pretty much every subdivision has them, so you don't have to go far for them. There are better parks than not. Maybe that'll be a future video, but right now, quickly, the Lakeview Park, that's probably my favorite one to go to. Kid-friendly, and you see a lot of dogs. I have a dog, so it just makes it go a lot easier. When I was doing the the Oshawa waterfront video, when I went with my wife and my daughter and my son and my dog, So I went to go do the video and she went to the park. And the problem with that was it was just so busy, and she did not like that, how she was by herself with 2 kids and a dog, and the park was just packed. So that's just one thing to note there with the parks. In terms of the trails, you can go from pretty much the north end all the way to the waterfront if you wanted to. You'd have to look the trail systems. There are maps out there. Google Maps actually has, it's an overlay that has to do with the trail system, so you can see that if you were into biking. And so like we went one time with a friend of mine, we went from like Mill Street in like the central Oshawa area, and we went right to the lake, and it was just all through trails. So we went under the 401, all that. And I actually learned something on that because it started getting dark, and we started noticing there was a lot of those electric scooter bikes that were being driven around, no lights, dead silent. And I was like, that's like scary, because when you're not expecting to see people and all of a sudden just out of nowhere, people on these little electric scooters showed up. And the friend that I was with at the time, he kind of mentioned that drug dealers, that's what they would use to get around, because it's completely silent, so nobody knows you're coming. And so I was like, well, that's good to know now, because now when it's dark, I'm not going to be going through these like trails that are just kind of away from everything. Just didn't seem very safe, but we had our dogs, everything like that, so nobody could really sneak up on us too much, although one person did, and actually scared the dog too. That was it's kind of funny, but it was also a learning experience for us. The 5th point that we're at right now has to do with the shopping. So the one thing that's cool with Oshawa is they do have the Oshawa Center, which is a large indoor shopping mall. So you know, not all cities have those. So like within Durham, you have Pickering Town Center, and then you have the Oshawa Center. So those are the 2 main malls, indoor shopping malls, that are large that you can go through, which is good for Christmas and birthday, like all the reasons you would need to go to a mall, or if you're a teenager, just going to hang out. And it's just nice to have that. But then you also have the large outdoor shopping centers that there are as well. So there's one at Stevenson in the 401, which has the Walmart and the Lowe's. And then if you go to the north section at Harmony and Taunton, there's another kind of main shopping center. It has a Home Depot, Real Canadian Superstore, Best Buy. I've actually done videos on that where it's the main shopping areas within Oshawa, which is kind of just gives a little bit glimpse of what it's actually like. And then there's a new shopping center that got built at the north section at Winchester and Simcoe, which is like the North Oshawa type area. And they have like tons of stores there as well. And it's just nice to have those options. So depending on where you're living, you have places to go. When we were living in Winfields, our closest shopping center that we would go to was at Harmony and Taunton. So it's that main shopping center, which was about 10-minute drive or so. So it's nice that they've built it up there now, which is good, especially with the university, because that's where the university is. So you have a lot of students that they would have to commute quite far to go do groceries, anything like that. So now there's somewhere at their doorsteps, which makes it a lot easier as well. And it's also good for part-time jobs, like having malls has tons of part-time work for students. And then a lot of the shopping centers that there are, again, tons of full-time, part-time, which is just good options for people that are here, whether it be international students or newcomers to Canada or teenagers. So it's good to that sense. The 4th point has to do with affordable housing. And so that's a point that's been around for a long time. The truth of the matter right now is how affordable is the housing here, because I see these house prices and I don't feel like Oshawa is affordable anymore. It's bungalows have approached the $1 million price point, detached 2,500 square foot, couple-year-old homes, 1.5, 1.6 million. Who knows? We're in April of 2022 right now, and we're kind of on the brink of that housing market, I feel, kind of changing just because of the amount of inventory that has come onto the market. But the whole Oshawa is affordable. I don't see that anymore. Even the rental prices, they've gone way up. A lot of those $400,000 condo townhomes that you would get with no garage and maintenance fees of about $400. Now those have approached $600,000-700,000. Bungalows, which you used to get for $500,000 to $600,000, now is $900,000 on the low. If it's really, really nice, it's approaching over $1 million. I saw Lakeview legal duplex sell for like $1.3 million. Again, I was just completely shocked. So affordable housing is a point that we can kind of use for now, but I don't see the realistic side of how it's affordable anymore. Our third point is Oshawa is bike friendly. So they do have bike paths that can take you all throughout Oshawa, which is through the trail. So you go through different areas of bush, whatnot like that. Lakeview with the waterfront trail, definitely beautiful for biking. But then you also have the downtown core now, which along Athol Street and the main areas, you see that they've actually put bike lanes, which have been curbed in. So it just kind of adds a layer of safety for people who are driving on those bikes. So it's nice that Oshawa is kind of transitioning to something where it's a little bit more bike friendly. It's not there 100% like Toronto, where a lot of the main streets in Toronto, tons of bike lanes. Oshawa's getting there, but not there yet. But it is something that I do consider them to be a little bit bike friendly. Our second point has to do with lower cost of living. Again, not sure how accurate that is anymore, but if you're going to focus on like car insurance for cars typically is a little bit lower in Oshawa. I came from Brampton. My insurance dropped a whole lot when we did move here. Things have kind of crept back up a little bit, but it's still the cost of living kind of a little bit less than other areas of the greater Toronto area, mostly fueled by house prices. Again, the house prices in Oshawa have kind of gone up quite a bit, but they're still lower than other areas, especially the west end of Toronto, like places like Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, where house prices have been relatively high always. But Oshawa, still not quite that high, but not far along until maybe it will be. So for now, we'll leave the lower cost of living as a point, but I'm guessing over the next little while, who knows how long, that might not be a point to focus on anymore. And the number one reason why I think that you should move to Oshawa is because you want to. And that's going to be the most important area. You want to make sure that you want to move here. So along with your YouTube research and how you've come across me, coming here to visit is something that's good. Most people that have come to Oshawa, I've never had a lot of negatives. The main thing when I've been helping people that have been moving to Durham and they weren't sure quite which area to move to, it had to do with the commute times. And that was the main thing. They liked how lower the house prices were in Oshawa and in places like Whitby, Ajax, and Pickering. But that little bit extra of a drive, if you're going to compound it 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, all that, and you're going to be here for 5 years, that's a lot of extra driving or commuting that you're going to have to get comfortable with, especially if people are going to be going back to an actual office now, where working from home won't be as often, or if that even changes, who knows anymore. But the main thing that you want to focus on if you're looking to move here is that you actually want to move here. And that kind of finishes off the points. And one like bonus tip for the people who have stuck right through for this, the video, I didn't give any indication of this at the beginning, but right now something that's going on is people are stealing catalytic converters from cars. So if you're buying a house and it has a garage, great, you can park in the garage. If you don't, you're going to want to make sure that you back your vehicle into your driveway so that it's harder for people to get into, because they're like within minutes, they can remove the catalytic converter, which is kind of towards the back undercarriage of your vehicle. And it's because of the precious metals that's kind of in there. It's an easy target. And this happened to my mother-in-law, where her husband went to go get into the vehicle, went to go start it. There was a weird smell and a loud noise. And because he's a mechanic, he knew exactly what it was. And that was like thousands of dollars. Insurance is covering it. They didn't opt for the rental insurance. So they don't have a rental vehicle unless they want to pay for it. And then right now it's hard to find a lot of these car parts because everything is just back ordered. So that's just like the bonus tip for those who watched all of these tips and didn't skip ahead or anything like that. I hope you enjoyed the video. This video is just for people who are looking to move here. I always appreciate when you watch it. So if you like it, be sure to like the video. Helps YouTube, recognize people are enjoying the videos and puts it in front of other people as well. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you're notified each and every time I do post new videos. And if you want to be notified of that, you just click on the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you do get notified. I know it because my wife has done that. And so every time I post a new video, she always mentions that she saw that I dropped it. So that's kind of good. I have people reaching out from all over the world, and I absolutely love it. I was shocked with how many people are moving here. So if you're looking to move to or from Oshawa or any area within the Durham region, be sure to call, text, email. You can send a carrier pigeon, whatever is easiest for you. And I'm here to make your move and relocation go so much easier. Thanks for watching, and until next time.